Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Michelle Saeed, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're absolutely thrilled to have Réland Logan, the founder and brand strategist of Gray Digital Marketing, joining us. Based in Portland, Oregon, Réland is an award-winning marketer who empowers female B2B coaches and consultants through her methods, crafting authentic branding to attract premium clients. We'll explore her founding story, how Gray Digital Marketing is transforming digital marketing, and really her vision for scaling this vibrant agency. So let's dive in. Réland, welcome to Founders Future.
Oh, thank you for having me, Michelle. Thank you.
Love it. Love it. Let's dive in. Take us back to the beginning. What specific challenge or gap within the digital marketing or branding landscape inspired you to actually start great digital marketing for some of the women entrepreneurs out there?
N- It didn't. I'm not going to lie to you. I wish I could say I was like solving a gap. It was a personal gap that I was solving. COVID made me do it.
Yeah.
But I feel like many entrepreneurs these days, like COVID made us do it in some
Yeah.
shape or form.
Mm.
I had just turned 30, literally just turned 30. A week before my 30th birthday, I was laid off. And I was on hold with unemployment, on speakerphone, scrolling through Instagram,
Yeah.
watching my then 2.5, 3-year-old play Cars, and didn't know how I was going to play for Disney Plus.
Mm.
That's literally what made me do it. And as I
Wow.
was scrolling, I was like, oh, I'm really good at sales. I've taught people how to do sales, and
Yeah.
I'm really good at design. I went to art school. I'll just create a social media agency. Fast forward to today, that is not what I do. The only reason I haven't changed the name is because I named my company after my son and that moment. But I now work very strongly in the brand space. I actually had a speaking coach who, in a moment of coaching me, had said, hey, Ray, what you're not good is turning people's social media into a scroll stopping moneymaker. What you're really good is finding out what's incredible about them and bringing that to the forefront and then place to that they can make money off of being their authentic self.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hear it then, Michelle. I really didn't. Like, I was hurt by it. And I went back through my notes a couple months later. And when I read that, I was like, oh, she didn't realize this, but in the moment she told me, you're really good at branding. That
Mhm.
is where your sweet spot is. And so I took that, I found another incredible coach, and I went from $2,500 months to $15,000 months in 2 months. And the rest is history.
Wow, I love that. Sometimes it really just takes those moments where it feels like it's a down moment, but it's like that's the catalyst to getting back up and doing your own thing. And we think about it too when everything feels good, everything's like flowing, smooth sailing. Oh, should I start something? But I have a job. It's always like that feeling. But I love that you share that because I know there's some listeners out there tuning in that are probably going through that, and it's probably going to be an aha moment for them as well now to get started. So thanks for sharing that, honestly. Now,
Cool.
want to get into the nuts and bolts now for the listeners as well, even potential clients of yours that may be tuning in and they'd love to work with you at Great Digital Marketing. How do you generate revenue today? What is your core offer? I know there's a few, there's brand strategy, social media management, web design, but how do you structure what you do for your clients primarily, and what exactly is that?
Yeah, I actually have a proprietary method. So it is the same path for everyone. Actually, I do not have a menu. I'm not going to treat this like it's McDonald's. That's not a knock to if that's how other people's business works. It's just not how I'm going to show up as my full self and give my full self to those that I'm working with. And so, what we actually do is everything starts out with a brand meet, a brand breakthrough. So I don't do discovery calls. I don't hop on for 15 minutes anymore. It is a paid offer that is $150. And what they do is they fill out a form and they'll let me know what's going on. I feel like there's gaps or holes in my business. I can't see it. So then
Yeah.
I take that information and I send them a Loom video of me in real time showing them where messaging is out of alignment,
Mhm.
where they can fix things in order to get to their goal. If
Right.
I can help,
Mhm.
If I'm the right person, I will invite them to the next step, which is to brainstorm with me. If
Mhm.
I'm not, I'll point them in the right direction. I'm just not going to leave somebody high and dry.
Yeah.
Most recently, somebody actually told me it was the most valuable thing they have ever received in the time of their business. But then we move into brainstorming. So I've seen it. Now I want to hear it. And I will interview somebody for 90 minutes and I will uncover so many rocks that some people don't even think has to do with branding. Honestly, the misconception is that branding is just logos and visuals, and that's so far
Yeah.
from the truth. Then I will take what I learned in the interview, what I saw previously, and I will turn it into a strategic plan that is essentially a gap analysis for those who love that term that tells them what they need to start doing and stop doing in order to make it happen. And
Mhm.
again, I'm the type of person who has to invite as we go. And I will then, if it makes sense, invite them to do it for them in an intensive model where we will do a full rebrand perception shift in 1 to 2 business days that will get their messaging locked in for how they really wanted to show up,
Mhm.
as well as visually and get that out to the world. We also work on how to make the investment back and set sales systems within that space. So that is the brand extraordinary method. And every step is paid and every step is from an invitation place of ensuring that we are a good fit. And I also help people ingrain that into their businesses as well, if that's the place that they want to be. I we all love it. Actually, we have so much fun. I can't even put it into words or have enough time to share all the stories that have come out of it.
I love it. I love it. So from what it sounds like, a lot of what you do is you really are gathering a lot of that information up front with the brand exploring method. It's $150, right? Like the paid offer. Do you have any other tiers, anything that is a little bit more high ticket that you're looking at implementing? Talk to us a little bit about that.
The first one's 150, then it goes up to 1500, then it ranges between 20 and 40K.
Got it. Got it.
It's definitely like growing as we go,
Yeah.
but yes, we definitely have high ticket. If I'm going to completely redo your messaging, your visuals, and restructure your sales system, like that's worth a lot of money to somebody, and it
Yeah.
makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
We've seen people 6x their sales from going through it and making their investment back in like weeks.
That's huge. Yeah, I just thought we'd clarify that for the listeners. I know once this airs, they might be like, "Whoa, that's like a steal." So let's reach out. But
Good call. Because I'd be like, there's no way. I love you, but there's no way.
yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. For what you do, not at all. Now, building on your growth, walk us through how you're currently acquiring some of your clients. What are some of those channels, whether it is like paid advertising, LinkedIn, referrals, word of mouth? What's been like the most effective for generating leads through the door for some of the services you offer?
The absolute most effective is actually my podcast. So I have a podcast for just really powerful women who are consultants, coaches, service-based businesses. And then I have a community beyond that podcast that are just of women who have been on the podcast. I've just created my own community in that space. I
Mhm.
do get very good traction from LinkedIn as well. And I'm very intentional about going to in-person events, putting myself out there within those VIP spaces and interacting and meeting people that way.
Yeah.
I, because of how we work, when we are in intensives, we're only focused on that person's intensive. And so we don't take other clients at that time. We want to give everybody like fair diligence. And
Mhm.
so I have not ran ads since I had a social media agency for just how boutique and dialed in the high ticket level is now. Though I have helped people with ads and getting in leads that way, that
Mhm.
just isn't. I'm very grateful that my pipeline is super full just from the traction we have gotten from the podcast.
Love that. And in terms of scaling, it comes up as a topic always on our podcast, like, especially as you're probably having a small team or it's just maybe yourself, right? Doing fulfillment, handling acquisition. What are some of the ways that you're exploring as an entrepreneur? Predictability, consistency with your lead gen to where it's maybe automated that will allow you to scale. Talk to us a little bit about that approach and what ideas you're thinking about on that front.
So I actually came up with a framework called Extraordinary Authority, and I do have teams. So on paper, I look like a solopreneur, and that is by design. But I have a virtual assistant who handles a lot of my outreach. She handles a good chunk of getting messaging and things out in that way. I have a whole podcast production team that takes care of everything past the interviews for
Yeah.
me. I also have a brand photography team and team of designers that handles all of my social media, and all I have to do is write. But when I created Extraordinary Authority,
Mm.
it was with the intention of, I don't believe that you should be on the metaphorical social media hamster wheel. If, as a business owner, if you are still living in that space
Mm.
where you feel like you have to post every day and then you punish yourself because you didn't post that day
Mm.
and you feel like you don't have enough money to put into ads because we're just in that place that we like to call the messy middle.
Yeah.
That Extraordinary Authority is creating 52 weeks worth of content, both long form and short form, and just getting it done, including email marketing, in order to have the space and capacity to take on clients. But
Mm.
also, you can't wait to take on clients and have no leads. That means you have
Right.
no oxygen.
Yeah.
But you cannot be on social media
Mm.
unless you're an influencer or social media is your jam
Mm.
100% of the time, because then you're not working on projects. And
Mm.
that's where those highs and lows start to happen. With Extraordinary Authority, we just cut that and make sure we have constant
Mm.
visibility, but visibility that's in alignment with your energy, clarity, and voice.
Yeah.
And that is been very transformational.
Awesome, awesome. So walk us through on that front your approach to sales, right? Because I know you've been doing this for a while. What does that actually look like when someone does come in through LinkedIn, through your podcast? How are you actually converting them into actual clients? And is it just yourself having the sales calls, or do you have like a team in place handling some of the sales conversations? How is all of that structured?
Gosh, it really depends. I do most of like the selling. I sell primarily from stage. I talk a lot. And then people will stop me and ask, and I'm like, yep, here you go. First step's this.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends out in the world who are always like, no, seriously, just go get a brand new to brand breakthrough for Ray. And that's because I cultivated a lot of relationships. But when I'm in true sales calls, if I'm like really doing that, I spend a lot of time uncovering what it is that somebody is looking for and really hearing them. I think sometimes people, I'm sure you hear this all the time actually.
Yeah.
Like people think sales is icky,
Yeah.
and it couldn't be further from the truth. Like the shirt you're wearing, somebody sold you. The shirt I'm wearing, somebody sold me. Same
Right,
with this
right.
plant next to me.
Yeah.
And but I think that where the mix up gets in is not taking the time to really listen and the feeling that you have to convince somebody of something. If you have to
Yeah.
convince them, we have a bit of a problem there. Like you cannot influence somebody who doesn't want to be influenced.
Right.
And so mine has always been it's very problem solving, a lot of listening. That's why I do the video first and then I sit down with folks. And what I've learned in all these sales conversations is people just want to be heard. And I
Mm.
think as I'm growing, I am going to have to start hiring on people who can do those videos for me. I only have so much capacity.
Yeah.
And people who can take on my podcast chemistry calls and let
Mm.
me just be the podcast host who's having those like back end conversations, as well as being the person who's doing the brainstorms. And as time goes, I will teach others how to take in some of those steps so I can operate at my highest strategic self.
Yeah, 100%. That was what was I was thinking as well. As you're still really like that main person, you're doing a lot of those conversations yourself, handling some of the things on the production side as well as you have your podcast. I would love to understand a little bit about how you're thinking forward with that scale mindset. It's something we like to talk about with our guests all the time. What are you putting specifically in place to find the right talent in place so that maybe on the sales side, maybe on the marketing side, that you'll be able to grow and scale in a way that will allow you to focus on founder level work? How are you navigating that right now?
I actually have been starting to lean on friends that I notice they have those traits and they're
Yeah.
looking for the next thing.
Mm.
So, first, looking in my inner circle, I used to work in staffing.
Mm.
I was a head of sales and marketing at a staffing agency, as well as I have done both sales and the actual recruitment pieces of it. And I come with a little bit of savviness in being able to find folks. I
Yeah.
think that the thing that holds me back sometimes is laying the foundation to ensure that we can onboard them successfully.
Yeah.
And what that looks like I think my assistant Ian would probably speak to this the most, that she will never hand me anything until she like has a solid SOP in place.
Yeah.
And it has like videos
Yeah.
and written word and
Mm.
all the things. Like I want somebody to feel very empowered. I've always hated micromanaging when I've led teams,
Mm.
and I always said, if I have to micromanage you, there's one foot out the door. And that's okay. Like I will guide people, I will help them if they're new, but I truly believe that adults are adults and they have agency and they're all capable. Like we are all capable. And so as I look to start to fill these roles, it's really making sure that I have the best foundation set for them and that they can be super successful and own it. Because once I let go of it, I don't want to own it anymore. I just want to
Yeah.
help steer the ship.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And that's where the piece comes in about individuals who are self-enabled in that sense, right? Entrepreneurs always thrive the best, especially in startup environments and like in agency spaces as well. Especially, I would say, like those that come from corporate, they expect like everything to be laid out. But if you're looking at growing a company, you need individuals who are going to be like-minded like yourself to execute in that fashion. So with everything you've accomplished so far and your success, talk to us a little bit about the vision for growing Gray Digital Marketing into the rest of 2025. Do you have any revenue targets, any performance milestones you're looking to hit? Paint that picture for the listeners tuning in.
Oh my goodness. Anytime somebody talks about the success that I have, sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I guess it did happen. I really do live in a dream state, everybody, that I'm just doing what I love. And oh, you can find me on the internet. 2025 is the year about hitting seven figures. That is the goal. I
Yeah.
know exactly what needs to happen in order to hit $84,000 months. In case you guys are curious, that's about 16 brand new to brand breakthroughs, 8 brand storms, and 4 making wave projects at any given point in time. And so that is where I want to take this. I think that giving voice to other women who have
Mm,
been stifling and pushing down their own worth
mm,
is it's hurting society. And in that space, it's not just about the seven figures, it's about what that seven figures represents. It represents a lot of incredible women who finally said, no, I'm going to stand my ground on the voice that I originally set out for, and I'm done playing small. And that's going to, in turn, allow me to give back. I
mm,
coached cheer for many years. I was a cheerleader for many years. I think it is one of the most thankless jobs you can ever sign yourself up for in high school and college. And I want to give back to cheer teams. It's one of the most expensive sports, yet we're football will give them all the money in the world, yet we're asking parents to shell out $2,500 a
mm,
year for just at high school, just so their kid can stand in front of everybody and be that smiling face and everywhere all at once while still maintaining their grades. And I just want to give back to them and give them the foundation that they need to also become powerful women. And
mm.
I can't do that without capital, and
Yeah.
I can't do that without selling.
Yeah.
And it's, I can give my time, so it's not to say that I can't, but
Yeah.
beyond time, I want to be able to utilize the sources of power that we have to us, and that means making more.
Yeah, 100%. Now, part of why we do this is also talking a little bit about some of those challenges that might come in the way, especially with your scale mindset, getting to seven figures. Talk to us a little bit about like any bottlenecks or challenges that stand out to that. Is it attracting the right types of leads, improving conversions, finding the right talent in place to help on the sales side? What are you most focused on solving to keep the momentum going and to set up that runway for seven figures?
I think all of those are incredible tactics. I think the thing that I have come to realize after coming out of a retreat is that there are some mindset things that need to shift that I never realized were holding me back. And before, like, you can have every tactic in the world and every system moving, but if you aren't 100% in what's going on in your brain, like, that's going to be a big boulder that you have to crush and move out of the way. And you can't really go around it. You can't go over it. You can't go under it. Like you got to chip at it. But to your point on finding the holes, the next thing is you got to look at the data. And if you don't know where to look, you can't solve a problem. And so I actually realized
Mm,
this is really funny. I did this a couple months ago that I was sitting on like a pipeline of almost 40K, and it was because I had never organized it.
mm,
And when I did that, I was like, oh, shoot, like, where are the stop gaps happening? I have no problem preaching that the funds are in the follow up, but apparently I wasn't practicing what I was preaching in the moment. And so I had to actually get a new CRM that laid that out for me and set up those steps very clearly. So I knew who I needed to, as my friend Lisa would say, like, cheerfully be persistent with. And then on top of that, really start to say, oh gosh, everybody keeps getting stuck at this point. Like, where and how am I not doing my best? And that has actually now led me to between mindset and seeing where those bottlenecks are happening through that follow-up process is I recognized that we are going to be doing a little rebranding, messaging rebranding on my end because it doesn't actually fully encompass what we are doing in the transformation that is happening for women. And and that's fine, but sometimes you just need a swift kick in the butt to see it.
Yeah, 100%. Now, share with the listeners like some of those ideas. Are you looking at new ideas to reshift the branding messaging on that front, or what are you actually putting in place on that side to get more of that traction to really speak to your audience? Talk to us a little bit about that.
I actually am about to send out a survey that I worked really hard to bring together to start to get the voice of what others say about what I do and what they want. And I will then take that and I will start to help shape my messaging. I'm taking what I want, integrating in that. And then I will take the transcripts of calls that I have and also analyze it using AI from a space of what keeps coming to the surface. What is it that people are truly saying that they want? What is it that the message I'm trying to convey? And then
Yeah,
taking all of that in order to create a very strong, compelling message that resonates with folks.
yeah,
I think that is honestly, I would tell you that's what you need to do no matter what, because that's being a brand strategist. It's where marketing operations and finance converge. But you got to collect your data and you've got to be okay with putting yourself out there because too
yeah.
many people are afraid to talk to others and actually get feedback.
Yeah, 100%. No, I love that. Now, one last question as we're wrapping up. How do you see the digital marketing industry evolving in the coming years? Your focus is on branding for women and women entrepreneurs specifically. How is Gray Digital Marketing positioning itself for that type of future?
I was just talking about this 2 days ago. AI is going to shape how our future goes. And you cannot run away from it. You're either going to work with it or you're not. And if you're not, you're going to find out how hard life is going to get for you because you may be excellent at it and somebody may not be excellent. And the person who's using it who's not excellent will start to creep forward. Now, if you're excellent and
Mm,
someone's not excellent and you're both using AI, the excellent person is going to move mountains.
yeah,
And that's something we need to be mindful of in the digital marketing space because AI is digital and it is going to shift how all of our things are working. Just look at your cell phone. Perfect example.
yeah,
But you're going to see more video content. You're going to start seeing more humans. You're going to see people listening to more podcasts.
mm,
You are going to see YouTube start to become like the number one search channel
yeah,
outside of AI because we want to see people's micro expressions. We are still human beings. And there is a element of trust
mm,
that needs to be established, and you can tell that by watching how somebody is communicating. And
perfect.
that is going to be where those shifts start to happen. We already said video was like leading the way. I think it's going to double down, and AI is going to help get those videos in front of people faster. So if you're not using AI and you're not using video, you need to get over whatever fears are showing up for you when I said that and made you want to vomit, and you need to just do it.
Let's do it. Yeah. Now, this is coming to mind. I want to get a bit hypothetical as we wrap up. If I brought a genie in the room and you rub the lamp, now you have all these unlimited resources. What would you implement immediately to accelerate the growth of your business?
Oh my gosh, I would duplicate myself. I would literally be like, can you create the copywriting version of me? Can you create the mom version of me? Can you please be the person who handles football registration right now? Like, it's on top of mind. I would duplicate myself.
Fair answer, fair answer. I feel like, honestly, if only we can get more time in the day. On that note, that wraps up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining us today, Rayland. We are so excited to follow your story along and journey into 2025. So, on that note, if anyone would like to get in touch, we will link her LinkedIn profile in the summary below for Great Digital Marketing. And to all of our listeners, you can find some more resources and insights at closers.io, where we're dedicated to helping businesses scale through trained appointment setters and world-class marketing and sales systems. Until then, I'll keep climbing and we'll see you all on the next one.